Whoopsie. Fuck it. Fuck you and your rules. Okay, fuck, I gotta get to this. The weather's changing pretty quickly, so I'm gonna try to get as many vlogs in as I can in today. Or as many vlogs as I can record today. Since it's gonna be pissing rain for the next couple of weeks, and my current setup for my GoPro isn't waterproof with the microphone I'm using. So I did something I probably shouldn't have done, and that is I went and bought a Sena headset and the Sena backpack or Sena? Is it Sena or Sena? I think it's Sena. I guess the Sena headset and the Sena backpack for the GoPro with a waterproof case. So that way I can do this through when I'm riding in the rain. So I'll definitely do one on that, and I notice a lot of vloggers use it, and it seems to be pretty good. So I wanted a Sena anyways for when I'm riding with my uncle. Did that guy cut him off? God, so many idiots out. Anyways, but the main one I wanted to do today was talk about multiple motorcycle syndrome there. Meaning, you know, a lot of bikers have more than one bike, especially vloggers. I've noticed, you know, a lot of them have sports bikes and then something else, like usually a Supermoto or a dual sport, or a Groom seems to be really popular little bike these days. Now, this is way down my list of priorities. I mean, my first priority obviously is to get a job, for those of you who have been paying attention to me. Shit, I'm in the wrong lane. Oh, I just did a Richmond thing, fuck. This didn't cut anyone off though. If anyone was there, I would have had to just keep on going. Alright, so back to it. So multiple motorcycle syndrome. Like I said, a lot of vloggers seem to have at least two bikes, sometimes more, though usually in different levels of, I guess, being put together. Sometimes they're just parts. I know my uncle suffers from it because his garage, or his shop garage, was before I bought my Maxim, was filled with 3 or 4 bikes. So he had his 1400R, his FJ 1200, the Maxim, and then he's got parts. Basically a bike that's all taken apart, which is an old T100 or T150, I forget what it's called, but basically an old like 77 Triumph Bonneville, which I think the engine's in like wicked shape from what I've seen, but he really should put that together someday. That's a freaking wicked bike. And then I know a lot of the Harley guys I hang out with, a lot of the guys downtown have multiple bikes, but you know, it really should be, I know a lot of Harley guys have multiple bikes, but they really shouldn't be called multiple bike syndrome. They should be called multiple project syndrome, since all their bikes never seem to frickin' work. They're all in like, they all seem to be in parts and not working, or always something that needs doing, especially on these older, I guess those are older Harleys. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a different lifestyle altogether. So multiple bikes that are in pieces, that's almost a different lifestyle. That's multiple project syndrome, and that's for guys who are always working on something new for fun of it, you know, guys who like tooling around on their bike, like not to like actually like riding it, but using tools on it. That was probably not the best choice of words. So yeah, I'm definitely never gonna be one of those guys. I'm like mechanically challenged. I understand how bikes work. I understand most of the parts. I know, you know, all that type of stuff. I'm too much of a pussy to take something apart and put it back together. I just feel like I'm gonna wreck something. I guess it's my own what do you call it? I'm too insecure about my mechanical ability, I guess. I was thinking about, you know, what would I get if I come down to multiple bike syndrome after I get a new job and, you know, probably buy a proper house. Or even become fairly popular on YouTube and make some decent coin, maybe that way, but I highly doubt it on that one. Speaking of which, please subscribe. No. Anyways, you know, if I do come down with multiple bike syndrome, I'm thinking, you know, what kind of bike should I get? Should I get a sports bike, you know, which I have all, you know, I'm actually going to make 2 sports bike lists. One sports bike list is going to be dream bikes, like bikes that are completely bonkers or completely so expensive it's not worth it for me to do that, or just completely bonkers. And the other one is realistic sports bikes, my top 5 realistic sports bikes for me and my level of ability and price range. And then I'll probably also do, you know, what cruisers outside of this highball would be my top 5. So I probably will do that one too. So be kind of if I you know, what are the other bikes I was looking at for cruisers, since I kind of went over that a bit with the website one, but I'll go over it again, well, as the actual bike thing. But this time, you know, other bikes that are kind of not going to be under these lists are going to be stuff like the Groom, where it's like, I don't really know where to put it. It's kind of a play bike, you know, it's a toy bike, really. It's like, it's kind of guys like to trek with them, you know, was it Do It With Dan and Jake the Garden Snake seem to have them, and they do a lot of stupid stuff on them that that's pretty funny, actually. Totally, it's the only reason anyone watches those guys for sure is they're pretty funny at the tricks. And you know, maybe I took a look at one yesterday when I was at the Honda dealership down in Granville Street or Granville Island. So I kind of saw one and said, oh yeah, I get the point of these. It actually wasn't, it didn't feel as small as I thought it would. It's actually pretty tall for a bike. So I kind of realized that it actually might be kind of a contender, even though I can't really use it on the highway. Because even going from Richmond to Vancouver, I got to hit at least 80. So the Groom kind of goes on the list of other bikes, which I'm going to talk about today, that won't make these. Fuck, put your nose out there more. Anyways, other bikes that won't make their top 5 lists that I plan on doing. So the Groom definitely goes on there as kind of a, really is a what the fuck kind of bike. Like I don't even know what to put it under as. It's almost like a mini Supermoto, which comes to the next set of bikes, which I can't really do a top 5 on because they're so limited right now, and that would be Supermotos. Now, when I first started getting into bikes, Supermotos were kind of the bike I thought I was gonna get. But lately, almost no one seems to have a Supermoto. I mean, obviously Ducati has the Hyper Motard, which is like I guess kind of a semi-Supermoto. It's really more of a naked bike that can do some Supermoto things. Same with MG or MV Agusta and Aprilia. I think they have one each. But again, they kind of go under that whole naked bike with some Supermoto abilities. The only one I kind of consider like a legitimate Supermoto that's like the original concept of it would be the was a DRZ 400 SM from Suzuki. I mean, it's a pretty cheap bike. I think they're only like $7 grand or even cheaper if you get like a used one or an old stock one. But I noticed that if you look on the Suzuki website, they don't have any for 2016, so it's only 2015 models. So it looks like they're gonna stop making them too. I think a few guys, I'm not sure who has a, I don't think anyone's got a Suzuki. I'm actually not quite sure. I know there's a few guys that have Supermotos online, but I think they're Yamahas. Of course, the other thing I could do is just buy a dual sport and convert it to Supermoto. I mean, I'm not going to be doing too much dirt roading stuff. Though, you know, most of my friends have dirt bikes, so maybe I could get a proper dual sport and just go dirt biking with them and then ride it home. So that's something you guys can all comment on in the bottom there. You know, Supermoto or dual sport, you know, it'd have to be something fairly decent. And I guess, and then on another related topic, since, you know, they're kind of related bikes, you know, they're basically just heavy duty dual sports in my opinion. That would be an adventure bike, which I don't really know enough about yet to do a top 5, and it's not really a bike. I don't really want an adventure bike, so I'm not really geared towards making a top 5. Fuck. So, you know, maybe put your suggestions if I should look into that more, you know. Right now, I don't think there's any of those type of bikes that really interest me other than the Beamer and the Triumph. I guess with the Beamer GS something or other. Though I do plan on riding one in the near future, because I've decided that I'm going to go to Thailand, visit my friends that are in running that gym. So probably after Christmas I'll plan on that. And then, you know, I was actually thinking, because I was looking at it, it's a 5-hour ride from Bangkok. Might be a little bit too much for me to do, since I don't, you know, I won't have any clue what to do, so I'll have to ask and see if there's some sort of guide or something I can do. And I was planning on maybe renting an adventure bike to go to this province that my friends are at, which is really backwoods Thailand, and maybe a little too close to Laos and Cambodia for my liking, since I know Thailand doesn't really get along with those two too well. So yeah, I think that's my other list. And you know, my little rant about multiple bikes / multiple project syndrome, and you know, the other list, I guess, you know, being the Groom, Supermoto / dual sport or an adventure bike, which I don't plan on doing any top 5 lists. But do watch out. I'm going to try to bang off a couple of these, the other 3 top 5 lists I want to do, being the cruisers, sports bike, dream sports bikes, and realistic sports bike lists. So I'll try to get to that later today after my course that I'm doing right now. Yeah, see if I can shoot them all today, because it's going to be pissing rain for the next little while. And I'm still waiting for that Senna headset, or Senna setup. Senna or Senna? I always forget. Fuck.